It's time for Pally and the Jew. I absolutely love doing that little intro. We're eventually going to have like Rebecca Sanders or somebody like that sing it. So we have like this professional intro to that. But
right, and when you need somebody to go to for your music needs, Rebecca Sanders is obviously your go-to person.
Well, I mean, and her voice is awesome. But anyway, welcome to
Crossroads. I didn't know that. Can she sing?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, here I am ripping on Rebecca Sanders. I'm like, I know she can do comedy good, but can she sing also? What can't she do?
Right. Welcome to Crossroads Comedy Project. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Sardam.
I'm Mitch Locke.
And today we are joined. Well, first off, we're here at Willie's Locally Known here in Lexington.
Promoting Rebecca Sanders.
And we are joined here today with a very special guest, comedian, funny man, Shawn Reynolds.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And I couldn't even get my welcome on. Sean's already on fire.
I'm just excited to be out of the house.
Hell yeah.
Packer show, man.
Packers are playing tonight.
Uh-oh.
I'm a big Packers fan.
Big Packer fan.
You know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I'm going to be saying the 3 words tonight that no Packers fan ever wants to say, which is...
bring back Brett Favre?
No, go Brett Hundley.
Oh, okay, yeah, you definitely don't want to say that.
We never want to have to say that.
I just want to see my 2 guys, the Jones boys, one on each side, to do really well because they're on my fantasy team.
Oh, Aaron Jones, yeah, I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, and what's the
Marvin Jones?
Marvin Jones, yeah, junior.
Oh yeah, the junior, not senior.
Not senior.
He's not playing tonight.
No, he's not. He broke his hip. I think he's in Florida.
Yeah. No, and Green Bay doesn't play defense, so I think you're going to be okay.
It should be good.
Well, I'm a Bears fan, so I could really give 2 shits.
You're a Bears fan.
Yeah, that's why you're out of the conversation right now.
Yeah. Right, that's why we're not talking to you. Bears fan.
Hey.
Although your team, your quarterback completes 4 passes and you win.
That is true.
We got a good defense.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
So, what we normally do on this talk show is, of course, we talk with comedians, and we get the insight on what's going on. So what's going on right now is tonight at 8:30.
Yeah.
We've got a fantastic comedy show. Headliner will be Brad Lanning coming in from Louisville to entertain us.
Who's freaking ridiculously good.
He's ridiculously good. And, of course, we've got Shawn Reynolds on the show tonight. And Shawn, the first time I saw Shawn perform was at Comedy Off Broadway. And it was from that point forward, I was like, I got to get to know this guy. This guy's too funny.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
He's you came in second for the what's that competition in Chicago that you did?
Just any competition, you name it, and I have come in second. I am the Buffalo Bills Susan Lucci of comedy.
He says any. I'm clipping out. There we go. He says any competition. Oh, that's a hell of a lot better.
Yeah,
I was like,
you hit like the magic button there.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
this,
you were like
this was
super
like
loud.
part of the Crossroads podcast setup where it's just constant.
No, it was really loud on both things. They were like canceling each other out. It was looking like crap. But so we have this fantastic comedy show here tonight.
Yeah, and I feel like we've given everybody plenty of time. So if they're joining now, this is on Facebook, right?
Right.
So I feel like if somebody's sitting at home right now, right, scratching their stomach and eating like they can look at the clock and go, oh, I got plenty of time to get
right.
to these.
Absolutely. So, if you're at home and you have nothing to do tonight, you want some good laughs, this is definitely the place to be tonight. And just so everybody knows, on Mondays now, Willie's has 50-cent wings.
Right.
Which is huge. I mean, I would definitely travel for 50-cent wings. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah. You just downed a few before the show.
Yeah, Josh was tearing into him when I got here like it was his job.
Like, being a Jew, if you tell me I can have 6 wings for $3, yeah, I'm there. I'm totally there. And, we don't call Ish the best color man in podcasting for nothing. You hear that color commentary he just did? It was mind-numbing.
It's spot on. He's like
I only comment when I'm needed to.
He's like the jazz of commentators. Right. It's about the words you don't say.
Right.
I'm only here to insult. That's really all it is.
That's not what you're here for. Stop it.
I'm kidding.
All right. So with all the comics that we have on the show, we like to get to know them.
Okay.
So, what made you get into comedy?
Well, I always loved stand-up. So I was a crazy consumer of stand-up. And I always wrote comedy.
Right.
I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts. That was my first job in high school, all through high school.
Yeah.
And I was a big Letterman fan.
Okay.
And so every Saturday morning at my Dunkin' Donuts, I used to post a Dunkin' Donuts top 10 list.
Ah, okay.
That was related to our shop, and it was like it was big, almost like a morale booster. Like everybody couldn't wait to get to work on Saturday to see the top 10 list.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I wrote a lot of comedy, and I always wrote like a lot of like SNL sketches, and I thought like I could do that. But I never thought about performing. And then my brother got married 8-9 years ago, and I was his best man, and I had to give the best man speech. and I just roasted. I did like a 10, 12 minute set at my brother's wedding reception. And I just crushed him, and it just killed. And everybody was like, oh, you're like a stand-up comedian. That was literally the first time I'd ever held a microphone in front of people. And so that did it. Like, enough people came up to me and they're like, yeah, you're like a stand-up comedian. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So then I wrote some bits, and then I went to the Louisville Improv and totally sucked for 5 minutes on stage. And I was like, man, I love this.
Well, how long ago was that?
A little over 7 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I ate it at the Louisville Improv.
Yeah.
I right before, I was really nervous, and I dragged all my family and friends. This was back in the day. You had to have like 10 people.
Sure.
So I drug them to Louisville. I practiced for so many months. I over-practiced. And then right before I got on stage, I realized, I'm like, you know what? No famous comedians wear glasses. I'm like, wait, Jerry Seinfeld doesn't wear glasses. George Carlin doesn't wear glasses. I go, no comedians wear glasses. So right before I went on stage, I decided to take my glasses off. And then I walked up on stage for the first time ever, not knowing about the lights being so bright. I'm blind. I can't even find the microphone. I wasn't funny. It was a total train wreck. Couldn't have not have went worse.
Like, you could have got away with all of that if you were funny, you know?
Maybe, yeah. No, the bit, I've never done the bit since. It was about having your cake. It was like a Jerry Seinfeld bit. Like, in my head, it sounded funny because in my head, it was Jerry Seinfeld saying it. And then I performed it like Jerry Seinfeld. So I was like, what's the deal with having your cake and eating it too? Are there people out there who have cake and aren't eating the cake? Who are these people?
That definitely sounds like
right?
Jerry Seinfeld.
But I did it like in his voice.
Right.
And like it was just crickets.
Crickets.
My wife afterwards, she couldn't even be like supportive. She was like, what happened? I don't know. I was like, I don't know. She's like, man, what happened?
Don't you hate that when you bring people to a show and when you bomb afterwards, they don't even want to look at you?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to look at
them. They
them.
feel horrible for you.
Yeah.
My biggest, I'll get excited and tell my wife, like, oh, I'm doing this new thing now. Like 4 or 5 months ago, I started really just like, I'm almost turning into like an insult comic now.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like attacking the audience and, I'm doing that kind of thing. Well, as you know, doing comedy, that doesn't always work.
No, it does not.
Okay, so.
We can't all be Ian Bagg.
No, we can't. So, friggin', like 2 nights, I was crushing it doing it. And this one night, she showed up here at Willie's, and I had just the tightest friggin' crowd in the audience, and I couldn't get anything going. And I got off the stage, and she looks at me, and she goes, so that's what you're doing now? I was like,
So that's the direction you're taking this?
Yeah.
Silence?
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I hate that shit. So you got over the improv.
Yes. Yeah, I
And,
went back. Didn't tell anybody the second time. We'll go comedy out
See,
Broadway, not
I
tell
was
anybody.
smart. The first time I went on stage, I told like 3 people because I knew. I was like, if I'm horrible, I don't want no one to know this.
Right.
I can just go away. I don't
Yeah.
really care. But
I don't know.
That was smart.
Do you get nervous when your wife's in the audience, or does it?
Not anymore. But I will tell you that I don't really get nervous anymore. I just done it enough now.
Right.
I get nervous when people that have never seen me before are in the crowd, only because I'm nervous it's gonna be a bad crowd, and then they're gonna think, oh, is this what you've been doing for 7 years, man?
Oh,
and then I get a little nervous when I'm gonna try something for the first time.
Yeah.
Even if I like blanket it around good jokes, which I usually do,
Right.
I still get nervous because it's like, oh man, what if I mess up?
I don't care. I've gotten to the point now where I don't care. I go up there and I mean, like, if Scott Wilson is in the crowd, if Lee Cruz is in the crowd, I get a little twinge going because I mean these are guys that like really took me when I first started and like tried to help mold me. So I mean, I kind of have that like mentor thing with me. But everybody else, I'm kind of just like, whatever.
A lot of comics have that, and actually a lot of experienced comics will try to teach you that too, like to not care.
Yeah.
I have a different philosophy. I care a lot.
yeah, how do you learn that?
But well, I mean, I think you can't learn it, but for me, it's just a thing of like I want everybody to have a good time. I just feel like
absolutely.
there's like so many ways people can be spending their time and money, and it's like if they're gonna spend it on me, like I want it to be amazing. So that because of that, I can't have that attitude of like I don't care, screw you guys. I just can't.
No, it's not an.
I know it's relaxing.
No, it's not a. I don't care. Screw you guys. It's a. If you didn't like it, I don't care.
Yeah. That. See, I still
because
care.
I can't.
I feel bad.
If I like get wrapped up in it, because I'm not as funny as you are, then I will never do
Depends on the
comedy
night.
again. So I mean,
Yeah.
I have to have some type of defense mechanism that goes up and
Yeah, but
helps me out.
a lot of experienced comics have that.
Yeah.
They have that I don't care attitude, or I like it when they get tight and get uncomfortable, and I like when it's silent. And
Rob Wilfon's like that. He
a lot of comics like that.
He wants the crowd to be as uncomfortable as he can make
Well, that's
them.
part of the skit, though.
It is.
You know,
But I
that's
mean,
a
that's
little
what
different.
he likes, though. Me, I like when. I like when I get feedback, especially if I got a drunk guy that everybody wants to shut up, and I just keep messing with him, and like people just like they're laughing at him and they just want him to shut up, but at the same time they're dying at the stuff I'm saying.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that feedback. But if like I say, hey, where are you from? Here, nothing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh Jesus, here we go.
I think if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna go in the crowd, I think you have to have a joke ready to go for that.
You do.
You know, that's just my. But yeah, I don't like chaos.
Yeah.
So I'm a control freak, and so that has followed me on the stage.
That makes sense.
So I don't do a whole lot of crowd work because I like to be in control. Like I don't drink, and I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, you don't drink? Is that like a religious thing?" I'm like, no, it's really not. I
just don't drink.
I don't think I like the idea of like not being in control.
Sure.
So
So how would you feel if tonight I was throwing stuff at you during your set?
Yeah, that would not be good. Yeah, I
okay.
would not like that.
No, he doesn't drink, but he does own guns. So
I actually don't. I don't own guns either.
I'm just going to
Try
chuck some
to-
stuff at
I know.
you.
Oh yeah, I own guns. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
right?
missed that.
This guy looks like,
Where
he
did
owns
Josh?
guns.
Where did Josh hear I own guns?
This guy in the Packers shirt looks like he owns
Right.
guns, right?
Yeah.
You know, what's funny, I used to teach at the police academy, and we would teach the students how to control chaos. So that was like one of my teaching points. It was like,
Yeah.
I like when there's chaos, and your ability to control it is like uplifting.
Right.
So like when madness happens, if you can be the calm in the storm, that's your key to fighting well.
Right, and that's what makes an amazing comic on stage, like an Ian Bagg who can go into the eye of the storm and the chaos of the crowd
I
and
love that
completely own the whole thing,
Yeah.
control it, and
He actually, last time he was here at Comedy Off Broadway, he let me open for him one night.
yeah, I heard about that. That's
And,
awesome, dude.
Dude,
What a guy.
he was such a nice guy too.
Yeah.
And I was and he's actually the guy that inspired me to do more crowd work, because
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I really enjoy talking with the crowd. And I said, but a lot of the more experienced guys are telling me, don't do it.
Right.
And he goes, look, if you're one of those comics that actually do that, he goes, you're going to have a lot more material than everybody else. He goes, do it
Right.
if you can do it.
Right.
So it was like from that point that I really started moving forward with it.
There can be a formula to that too, like Bob Zaney, who I love. I remember I saw him really early on in a comedy. And I saw him. I was doing 2 shows with him, 2 Saturday night shows. I think Jordan couldn't find anybody because he called me. This is like the first time I ever performed. It wasn't an open mic. It was way too early on. He literally must have called everybody. And so I opened for Bob Zaney, and I saw the first show, and he does a lot of crowd work, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. and then the second show, he did crowd work, and I went, oh, he asks yes or no questions.
He doesn't ever ask a question he doesn't have an answer for.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And it was like that the whole time, because some of it was some other stuff. But yeah, that's when I kind of learned. I'm like, oh, so you can also plan to do crowd work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Ian Bagg has, like, you know, the nights he was at Comedy Off Broadway. Now I'm talking about like when he was on Last Comic Standing. Last Comic Standing, he actually had a set because he can't play with the audience.
Can't play with the
there.
audience on TV, right?
But when he came to Comedy Off Broadway, he had like maybe 5 jokes.
Yeah.
And like for an hour and 10-minute set, 5 jokes.
Yeah.
And he would just play with the audience until he steered them into his material, and then he
Right.
would do his material, and then he'd go back to playing with them again. And I love that idea.
Incredible.
I went down to Somerset, and I did 40 minutes. 20 minutes of material, 20 minutes of
Right.
fucking with the crowd, and I
Right.
was killing it.
That's
you know?
awesome, dude.
Well, I mean, I had the crowd that would
Right.
receive that, though.
Right.
Because it doesn't work all the time. What I'm learning is how to identify when it's going to work and when it's not going to work.
Right.
And that's something that Lee Cruz told me. He goes, after you get through the I don't care mode, you're going to go into how do I fix this mode?
Right.
You know, and that's just obviously his experience. He's a fantastic comic.
He's a fantastic comic. He actually doesn't do a lot of crowd work, though.
He doesn't at all. No,
He opens the door for it, though.
he does.
Because late in his set, he'll say, I'm out. Any questions?
Yeah.
Not too many people ask questions, I find.
No, not with his wit. I wouldn't.
And then somebody yelled out, where do you go on vacation? And he goes, none of your business. I was like, oh, that's how you do crowd work. I can do that.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
So
Shut him down.
Where would you like to see your career go?
I'm trying to do, my thing is to perform at churches. That's like what I really want to do. for a lot of reasons, but one, like my material works really well in churches. I'm a clean comic.
Yep.
I go to church. I'm not a super churchy guy, so I think that helps actually, because like I'm not up there like preaching to them or anything. I don't like know. Like, I'm not like a Bible guy. I don't know the Bible very well.
Do you think you could help me and Josh get to heaven?
I'm definitely not your guy on that.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm just trying.
I'm one of the chosen one. I'm going anyway. I'm a Jew.
Right. So, but yeah, it's becoming a big thing as churches having they have like date nights, marriage night, where it's actually that they want it to not be very churchy. So
Sure.
they come out and they have a dinner and a show kind of thing. So I've been doing that and doing like 45 minutes to an hour show. And then I end my show with we have 6 kids, and because we're crazy, and one of them's adopted. We adopted our 5th child. And the story of how we adopted him is pretty incredible. And so I end my shows with that story, which is an incredible story, and it's uplifting, and I've made it funny so I can tell it in my comedy shows.
Sure.
And so it's a good way to because sometimes churches want like a little bit of a message. I'm not up there like telling them like read your Bible or anything like that, but I'm telling them this is what happened to me. It's pretty crazy good. And then I kind of talk at the end about how many kids like in the U.S. are not adopted and how easy it actually was and blah blah blah. And so I'm trying to use my comedy to actually help more kids get adopted. That's really cool. That's the plan. So like comedy is what I do, but it's not why I do it.
Yeah, he's definitely going to heaven.
No, that's really cool.
It's like that's my I'm trying to find a loophole, and I figure that's it right there, right?
Hey,
You're going to heaven. You're the chosen one. I don't know what I am.
you've got like virgins waiting for you, don't you?
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, you gotta tell me. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think that's correct, Josh.
It is correct.
From what I've gathered.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you, Pastor Reynolds, for that.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah.
I got virgins waiting for me.
That's what they.
Maybe it was
say.
Virginia. Was it Virginia's waiting for him?
There might be 72.
You just die and you go to Virginia.
Yeah.
But don't
One
I
of-
don't
one
I
of
have to like
72
take out
Virginias.
infidels first or something?
I have no idea.
I should know this, right?
You probably should know this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a horrible moose lamb.
moose
Yeah.
lamb.
Right. You're over there eating a pulled pork sandwich when we got here. So I'm like, yeah, this guy is not
Yeah,
real.
thanks for that. I had family asking me, like, you eat pork? I'm like, I don't eat pork. It was a joke. Yeah, thanks for almost getting me in trouble for no reason. I'm like, I don't eat
Oh,
pork.
that's so funny. I didn't
The
even
cup
think
shirt's
about that.
true. Well, because the cup shirt, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that part of the joke was true. The first time I ever met
It
him.
wasn't at it was at
It was ethereal.
Ethereal, right?
Yeah. It just made it funnier to
It was.
stretch
It was
the truth. a
no,
little
no,
bit.
it was funny. Well, you did. I liked it. Then you made fun of my name,
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
and I got to
I
use
s-
my name joke because I don't use it that often, but
Yeah.
so it worked.
Yeah.
What was the joke?
The joke was, I said, keep it going for Ish Salash, your host. Also a popular baby line in the Middle East. I go, you've heard of it. In America, it's Oshkosh Bagash. In Middle East, it's Ish Kash Salash.
Which is awesome.
They love
I
that.
wish I had that line. He'd be a gazillionaire.
So he's off to the side in Comedy of Broadway.
Yeah,
and he had it on his phone.
Yeah.
He goes, what do you think of that? I read it. I was like, man, that's genius. He goes, I hope I don't go up there and get my tongue twisted, because
Yeah.
it's a tongue twister.
I thought about it side stage, and I had to keep saying it. I kept messing it up, and I'm like, I'm going to mess that
Well, I
up.
came afterwards to sat next to him. I'm like, damn, that was really good.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
impressed.
I like that. He always. That's one thing you always do that I notice when you hit the stage. You always get that first laugh within a couple seconds. Like whether it's something that you're pinging off the host or something else that was said. I mean, was that something that you learned to do early in your career? Or?
Yeah, that is something I definitely learned from Lee Cruz.
Gotcha.
When I did the competition, the Comedy Broadway, I finished the top 3. Got to do the tour, the
The
Midway, Moorhead, Cynthiana tour.
See, I've only done one tour.
Yeah,
I've only done one show.
He did it bigger back in the days when me and Alan Ivy were
Well, he was
running.
telling me, he's like,
Renfro
yeah, be
Valley.
ready. Well, I did Renfro Valley.
Yeah.
Then he was like, I'll get ready for Midway and all this and this. I'm like, yeah, you let me know. I still have not done any other shows.
We did
except that one.
Harrodsburg at the Eddie Montgomery Steakhouse, which is no longer open.
Yeah.
But we got treated like VIPs. We got taken upstairs where like Eddie had his office and all his stuff, and like he had a bunch of signed memorabilia. It was from Country Stars, so that was disappointing. I'm not a country fan, but it was cool. But yeah, so I that was like the first time I ever really did comedy was with Lee, and Lee always came out, and I love that how he'd make fun of the room.
Yeah.
And so I always try to do that. So I don't do crowd work, but I do try to do that.
No, I mean it always gets a good laugh. Always does.
Yeah, so here's what I've learned about that, and I think crowd work is included, is that when you do a set and you do a bit, like, it has to be perfect. Like, you have to be right on the bullseye.
Yeah.
You flub a word, you just miss your rhythm, you say a word twice, or whatever.
Right.
Like, you lose the laugh.
Yeah.
You got to be both. But with crowd work and the making fun of the room, like you just got to get it on the board.
Yeah.
You just got to get the dart on the board, and people love it. It's crazy.
And that's probably why I'm better at that, because when I pronounce things, I'm always screwing up how I pronounce things. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So you did top 10 lists at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
So as always on a Monday show, we give everybody homework, and we're going to do a top 10 list today.
I've been like crazy going over this.
Well, from what I understand, you really love music.
I'm a music guy. I'm crazy music guy.
So
I was one of the first people that had Spotify. I've been on Spotify long. I didn't know anybody had Spotify when I had Spotify. So I listened, because Spotify, you have all the music.
Yeah.
I love Spotify.
Do you guys do Spotify?
I do.
I listen to it every day.
Yeah. And and then with my job, I run a grocery store. We open at 9. I go in at 6. So that's 5 days a week. So from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., I have my earbuds in. So I listen to music for 15 hours a week just at my job. That doesn't include car and at home.
Sure.
You own a grocery store?
I don't own. I run a grocery store.
I was about to say, because you don't look Indian.
Right. Yeah, they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me.
Racist bastard.
Yeah, the grocery stores and the gas stations and the subways. Forget about it.
You sure you're not related to me?
Yeah, we might be.
Could be. That's just tan.
My kids do wear your baby lines, so we're pretty.
I hope I'm related to you. That means I'm going to heaven.
Oshkosh. I don't think it transfers. I don't think it's transferable.
It's non-transferable.
I think it's
Can we get God on the phone?
Yeah.
Last time we got electrocuted trying that, so I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
So this week's top 10 list is top 10 your top 10 music. Now, of course,
No, that's not what it was.
What was it?
Get it right now.
Top 10 bands.
He said top 10 and here I stressed about this because he goes.
I didn't say. I didn't say favorite.
No, that's
Okay.
why I sent a text message.
Yeah,
Right.
He said bands though.
Yeah.
I said bands.
But you did say you said top 10 bands, and I said, well, favorite or best, because that's a big difference.
Right.
Like when we talk about movies,
And
Old School is one of my favorite movies.
Sure.
But Old School is not one of the best movies.
No. So, but that's why I leave it to your interpretation.
No, so you do that too much.
What? Leave it to
Yes.
interpretation, but it makes it fun.
Because I asked you about foods last week, and he was like, well, whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's too hard.
There's a big difference
It's
between
not
favorite
too
and
hard.
best.
No,
I
we
went
pinpoint it a little
I
bit.
went with favorite.
Okay.
I went with favorite as well.
Because
that's
best
fine.
is really that can become, that's pretty subjective.
Agree. And I went with favorite as well.
Oh, that's really
so
good.
we all
So we're
all
on the
right.
same
So you're number 10. And why?
Let's talk, can I interject really quick?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I really struggled with this. Like I spent a lot of time on this.
Okay.
So my question for you guys
He
is,
actually thinks we care. But go ahead.
my funny thing, no, I'm
kidding.
actually,
We do
I
care.
actually, I want to know how you guys compiled your list. 'Cause I know how I compiled, and I'm just curious how you guys went about it. Like, what was your? Because like, there's a lot of things you can weigh. Like,
Sure.
for instance, like, did you put a lot of weight on like going and seeing them live? Did you put a lot of weight on like, is it your favorite bands currently? Like, how did you guys come about your favorite 10?
Like mine, like I was going.
Or did you just write down 10 bands?
I went with like all time, like my all time favorite bands for the variety of reasons you just mentioned. My number one is been my favorite band since 1982. So I mean, I'll never stop loving that band. But yeah, that's how I just did it like overall.
Overall, what about you?
I actually, when started thinking about it, I did them in eras. So, obviously I was born in 82. I'm young. But
Okay.
So I was thinking about the music I loved in the 80s.
Yeah.
Started thinking about the music I loved in the 90s. I just compiled an entire list. I got about 30 bands.
Right.
He does
And then
that
I
every
cut
week.
it down.
Yeah, he does
Yeah.
it every week.
So
Yeah. I
Here-
do what every week.
You should put a shit ton and then reduce it
Yeah,
down.
I do. I write down a bunch.
Yeah.
And then I reduce.
Right.
It's just
So-
kind of the way I guess my brain thinks.
I had the same thing. So I wrote down a bunch, and then I'm like, well, how am I going to whittle this down?
Yeah.
And so I went with the desert island frame of mind.
Okay.
Because I listen to a lot of. So here's the thing about me. I actually like a lot of new music. I think music today is great. Not what's on the radio, but like I listen to a lot of bands nobody's heard of. I love the Growlers and I love Black Pistol Fire. Just bands that most people don't listen to. But I'm not a music snob because actually my top 10 list, it's like a Homer list. It's like all like super popular bands.
Okay.
Just want to preface it first that I do listen to a lot of music.
Okay.
I'm not like a mainstream guy, but I did the desert island thing. I said, here's what I said. I said, if I had to take 10 bands' collection of albums to a desert island, who would I take? So what
Gotcha.
happened was I found I was eliminating bands where I like one or two of their albums. So I put a really heavy weight on bands where I'm like, man, I love like 6 of their albums or 4 or 5 of their albums.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it eliminated some bands that I actually really like. I
Do you
like
see
the
the stress you've causing
Oh,
here?
so, I mean, I lost hair this weekend trying to get this thing put together.
The only thing I can think to say is you're welcome.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it
that
was
is
fun.
fantastic.
It was fun. It was a lot
He
of
does
fun.
this on purpose.
I do.
He's
Like-
outside doing his
Yeah.
list while smoking a
Right,
cigarette.
right. He didn't
and
do any
we're-
of those things.
And he knows it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
He knows I got
I
to do it
love
right.
Yeah, I love it.
Like 2 minutes to develop this.
I love
I was
it.
done.
I,
2 minutes.
I always type it. I always put bold on the top.
I even scratched one out.
You know?
I was like, oh, I forgot
Yeah.
about that band.
Yeah, but I had to kick out some bands that I had to kick out the Black Keys. I love the Black Keys, but then I was like, I really only listened to like 2 or 3 of their albums. So they were like, and then I also kicked out the band that I've seen live more than any band, and that is Johnny Conqueroo,
Okay.
who is an outstanding band. I love their stuff. My son is also their bass player, so I'm a little biased. But they're
You
not
picked
my
your son out for your list.
they're not in my top 10. But here's why: they only have 1 full-length album and 1 EP. I can't take that I can't take an album and a half to a desert island.
It's your son.
I know, but that's how serious. That's what I wanted to preface it. That's how serious I'm at this list. I'm like, sorry, Johnny Conqueroo, not my top 10 currently.
It's your son.
awesome.
Didn't make the list.
Sir, you are a savage.
That's how serious this list is. But
This,
left
this
them
is
off.
going to be badass.
You're
I can't wait
tearing
to hear
families
this.
apart,
Left them off.
Josh.
I can't wait to hear this.
Left them
Top
off.
10.
All right, here we go.
10.
All right,
What's
so
your
we're good
10?
now. I'm sorry.
What's
I'm
your
sorry.
10?
All right, my number 10
I'm so excited to
was-
hear you guys' list, by the way. I love this.
So I'm not sure. You all probably have. You probably listened to it. I don't know if you know this.
I don't
band. It's Blessed Union of Souls.
Yes,
Okay.
I've heard of this
Heard it.
band.
Yep.
I
Heard
love
of it.
Blessed Union of Souls. Just growing up, just your music really kind of inspired me.
Okay.
You know,
That's cool.
They did a lot of songs about love and hate and stuff going on in the world, and
Yes.
Gotcha.
it was very inspiring.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I'm not a monster, Josh.
No, you're kind of losing your man card again, but
Oh Lord,
Well, I might lose my man card a little bit here too.
it's just something I tease it, Sean.
I know. That's what me.
What's your number 10?
Number 10. So this is the one asterisk. This band does actually not have a lot of albums, but this is one of my favorite bands, and that is Tool.
Okay.
I'm
Love
a
Tool.
huge Tool fan.
Love Tool.
But has there ever been a band in the history of rock and roll that has done less with more? They don't put out enough albums.
Probably
They
not.
have 4 albums and an EP.
Maybe Nirvana?
Well, that doesn't count.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
Why does that not count?
Well, they got
their
interrupted
lead
for a
singer's
reason. Tool has no
That is
excuse.
true.
They still
Yeah.
they're like in 9 other bands. They do all these side projects, and so
No, I
but
love Tool.
Big
Tool's
Tool
awesome.
fan. Big Tool fan.
All right, I got a shocker for my number 10.
All right.
Beastie Boys.
That's not a shocker.
I
love-
That's a great band.
I love
It's
the
a great
Beastie
band. They
Boys.
almost made my list. I'm not gonna lie.
Grew up with them. License to Ill was like the anthem of my middle school,
Yeah.
so,
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
that's right.
It's my favorite Beastie Boys.
What
song.
was,
Girls.
what was the monkey song? I love that song.
Brass Monkey.
Monkey,
That
yes.
funky monkey.
I love that song.
I love that whole album. I
Yeah,
do.
it's a great album.
Love it.
Yeah.
Number 9.
My number 9 is Outcast.
Outcast.
Okay.
Yes. So you gotta know I'm younger than you two. So
Barely. I was born in 1980.
really,
Yeah.
I'm the old man again.
Yeah.
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 1980.
Yeah.
Oh wow. You're only 37.
But I'm 37.
Wow.
Yeah. I like some Hey Ya.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved Outcast just growing up.
No,
High
I mean,
school, just
Outkast
had
is
to-
good, man.
Oh, here's the thing about Outkast. So I don't listen to hip hop. Does Outkast have like a lot of great songs that haven't been played on the radio? I know they have a lot of radio hits.
They have some, and I mean a lot of their songs are upbeat, but they're not as.
But I mean,
they're not great.
all the good ones have been on the radio, though.
I hated that song Roses though.
Yeah.
All of their
They
here's the
said
thing.
smells like poo 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 or something, right? I'm like, why is that? Why'd they put that in there?
All of their
Why
songs
is
are
that in the
great.
song?
Put
And
it
the
that
funny,
way.
But and the funny thing
Wow,
is,
so-
they released Hey Ya, and so like their next song, you're like, they had everybody's attention,
Right.
And then they released that song that said something poo poo
Poo
poo.
poo. I don't know what it
Like,
was.
I don't get that.
What's your number 9?
Number 9 is the Avett Brothers.
I have not heard of them.
You never heard of the Avett Brothers?
I have not.
Avett Brothers are huge. They're like Americana,
Oh, there's
Oh
that
God!
Americana.
Stop using that
but
word.
they're super popular though.
All right, so what is Americana?
We had this discussion last week. We couldn't figure it out.
To me, like Americana it's not country, but it's like
So it's almost like
folk rock.
so like Charlie Daniels or Marshall Tucker.
Yeah, a little bit like that. What's the drive-by truckers.
Molly Hatchet.
Yeah,
That's
a little
like
bit like that.
Americana.
But
Okay.
Avett Brothers are actually pretty popular. Like
Okay. I'll have to check them out.
they play the they like headline all the festivals and stuff.
Okay, because I've never heard of them. So that's
Yeah, they're outstanding. And they're not like I don't like that kind of music, like country and bluegrass. But
Right.
they dabble all that a little bit.
gotcha.
But they're really good.
Okay, I'll have to check
I
that
thought
out.
they were really popular. I thought you guys knew that.
My number 9, again an anthem from my middle school years, The Violent Femmes.
Violent Femmes, yeah. Are they the do 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 do
Yep.
do do
Blister in the Sun.
Yeah,
Yep.
Blister in the Sun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. Absolutely love it. I grew up on that with that stuff, and they were very, they're kind of punkish, and they were very
Yeah.
rebellion like, and it just that was me when I was 13. So
Yeah, I had no idea who they are.
it's okay.
Sorry.
They're worth a listen. They're worth a
Okay.
listen. All right, you're number 7.
My number 7 is
Or
Number eight.
right,
Number eight.
My number 8
Don't
is
skip one.
One Republic.
One Republic. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. That's a band.
Sorry,
I'm not very familiar
my
with.
list is boring. I mean,
No, it's
just
okay.
get there.
It's okay.
No, it's
I like what I like.
It's who you like, and that's the
what
point
it
of
is.
this.
I will be checking out probably a lot of these bands. That's the other thing because I listen to so much music. When people are like, "You need to check out this band," people always do, "You need to check out this band," and you never check them out.
Right.
I'm the guy that actually checks them out.
All right. Good.
I got so much time to listen to music. I'm
Do
like,
you-
yeah, we'll check that out for
Do
sure.
you want my list when we're done? So you can-
I'll remember. I'll still remember. So like, yeah. So
All right. What's your number 8?
number 8, classic rock, love CCR.
Oh,
Creedence.
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Funny about them is that that's my son's favorite band.
Yeah.
And growing up, all I listened to was their greatest hits, that 20-track greatest
Sure.
hits. That was all I ever knew. Well, my son's such a big fan, he owns all their albums. He does
Nice.
vinyl. And so I've listened to like all their albums now, and they're like a band that's like, oh my god, they could have had 3 greatest hits albums.
Right.
So yeah,
Name
huge CCR.
name all the members.
Name John Fogerty,
Yep.
Tom Fogerty.
Yep.
I do not know the other 2.
Stu Cook.
Yeah,
and
Stu Cook.
Doug Clifford.
Yeah, I didn't know those names.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved CCR growing up. Didn't make my list, but that doesn't mean anything.
Love the CCR.
Love the CCR. My number 8 is Kiss.
Yeah. Oh, love some Kiss.
Yeah.
Kiss is great.
I mean, that goes way back to the late 70s for me, but I mean, God, Detroit Rock City.
Yeah,
I mean,
Strutter.
Strutter.
Deuce. I love Deuce.
Deuce, absolutely.
Anybody that opens up their song with "Get up and get your grandma out of here,"
Right.
I love that.
It's freaking
Gotta love
awesome.
that.
Have you ever dressed up as Kiss?
I did actually when I was young. Yeah, I had
Nice.
I had the Gene Simmons mask with the tongue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You did the mask. You didn't go the makeup.
The masks were really big in the 70s.
Yeah, you're
The
right.
one you couldn't breathe under and it
Right,
got
right.
really
You
clammy.
can cut your eyes.
Yeah, you cut everything with those damn things. It was pretty gross. 7.
My number 7 is Coldplay.
Oh,
Coldplay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
let me tell you something.
It's one of my wife's favorite.
I'm-
favorite
I
Love
bands.
Coldplay. you noticing a theme
All right,
here?
I'm gonna stick up for you.
Okay.
Go for it.
One of my favorite albums of all time is Viva La Vida.
Yes.
Coldplay.
That's my favorite.
Now listen, I hate Coldplay's last 2 or 3 albums when they went pop, but that White album and the Viva La Vida, like
Viva La
those
Vida.
albums are unbelievable, and people rip on Coldplay because like the Nickelback and like the New York Yankees kind of thing. Like when something
Yeah.
becomes so big, people start to hate it, and it's like, well, why do you hate that? And it's like, oh, just because it's popular.
Yeah.
But Coldplay's last couple albums have been totally crap, and that's what knocked them way off.
I
the
liked
list.
Nickelback. I know everybody's
I know,
I don't like Nickelback.
I
they
like them.
they churn out the same song.
Yes.
But like the length people have taken their hate for Nickelback, you're like,
Yeah.
whoa, but reel it back in.
Right.
Reel it back in a little bit.
Right. It's kind of crazy.
But I don't like them.
7.
So here is number 7, the White Stripes.
The White Stripes,
for
okay.
me, Jack White is my favorite current today rock star. When I put the White Stripes, I'm cheating because I'm also including the Raconteurs and I'm including Jack White solo stuff.
You are kind of cheating.
His
but
2 solo
it's
albums.
fine,
His
though.
2 solo albums are amazing. If you like the White Stripes, you should be listening to It's the same music. It's him.
They're phenomenal.
The White Stripes are awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
huge Jack White fan.
Absolutely love them. My number 7 is Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run to the Hills.
Hetty. Hetty. In Iron Maiden concerts, they have the big skull
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
They call him Hetty.
Hetty. I thought it was Eddie.
Right. That's the point. It's because of their accent.
This is funny and informational.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely love Iron Maiden. Run to the Hills.
Run to the Hills is my favorite song. by them.
Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. You ever hear that song?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that song. That's actually based on a poem.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Their drummer, if I remember correctly, he's the guy that has like a million toms and
Yes.
a million cymbals and
Yes.
just it's crazy.
He's on the swivel chair because
Yeah.
that's the only way you're getting
He's
to
got
them
symbols
all.
behind him. Yeah.
What are you going to go underwater next? I mean, all right. What, you're number 6.
My number 6 is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Okay. Hey.
Nobody can argue with that.
Can't argue with it.
Well, here I'm going to argue with it.
Okay. All right.
If you notice, I have Tom Petty down. I thought I put him in the solo. I know there's the Heartbreakers.
That's why I put the Heartbreakers.
But here's the thing.
I cheated, yes.
That's a little bit of an because I was like, if I put Tom Petty in the Heartbreakers, I can put Jimi Hendrix in the Experience or whatever his backup band was called. So you never hear anybody be like, "Oh, I love Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers." Man, that bass player, Heartbreaker number 3. Man, he's gold.
Huey Lewis and the News. Man, the News.
Yeah, the news. Oh, the news is so good. So
Well, that's why I didn't put Bruce Springsteen
love
on my
Tom
show,
Petty.
but
I love
yeah.
him.
and the Heartbreakers. Oh, I heard the thing about Tom Petty is I love a lot of his like recent stuff. Like a lot of people are like Free Fall, but like his last couple albums, Highway Was it Highway Echo? No, Highwayman.
Highwayman.
Highwayman. Echo was the other album. I didn't
Right.
like Echo, but Highwayman and Wildflowers.
I tell you,
and,
the guy's history in music just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, he was Stevie Nicks' like big brother.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of stuff together, and he was
Yeah.
like the motivation behind Sheryl Crow doing a lot of her stuff too.
Really?
Yeah.
And then the other day I was listening to the Traveling Wilburys.
Oh my
and it was the
God.
song "End of the Line," which is like
Love that song.
Tom Petty sings the verse and George Harrison sings most of the choruses. I just got sad. I'm like, these guys are all dead.
Yeah, Roy Orbison's
He's
in
in there.
Traveling Wilburys.
He's on that song. But
Yeah.
but the end of the line, it has like this like finality to the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're all dead.
Yeah, they're all dead. God,
So
that's-
sad.
It's depressing. You're number 6.
REM.
Oh, well, I got a Michael Stipe story for you.
Let's hear it. Love
Okay,
REM.
You remember Indigo Girls?
Yeah.
All right, love them to death. I actually saw them on New Haven Green in Connecticut.
Okay.
Right, New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah.
They were on the green, and there was like this little folk, like festival they had going on, and they were on stage, and me and my brother were sitting out there and listening to them. We're like, man, these guys are awesome. So they came off the stage. Sean's like, hey, let's go meet them. So we walk over. We're talking with them. There's this little fucker sitting next to him. All right, and Sean's like, oh, and this is my brother Josh. I was like, hey, yeah, how you doing? Whatever. And I'm talking to the girls. We walk away. Sean goes, do you know who that was? I was like, I have no idea who he is. That's Michael Stipe.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you didn't even notice him?
I had no idea who he was because I've always listened to music. I didn't know he was this little short guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was the one that was promoting the Indigo Girls. So everywhere they were going, he was the one that was promoting them around.
That is so cool.
I met friggin' what's his face, Sweetness. I met Sweetness the same damn way. Walter Payton.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was. Yeah. Okay.
Good story.
Yeah.
Love me some REM.
Me too.
Do you ever?
So many songs. So many
my
albums.
favorite. This is a kind of a comedy related, but my favorite joke with Tyler Gooch. Do you remember that?
Uh-huh.
I love that. Guy.
What
Do
is
you
it?
remember that joke?
He
You
goes,
know how he does the
he's
slides?
the chart.
Yeah.
He says, this
Yeah.
is me, and this is... He said,
No, it's a comparison of people losing their religion
Oh, I haven't
compared
seen
to
this.
ones gaining their religion. He had a little man in the corner, and he goes, and that's me
in the
losing my
corner."
religion.
No, he said, that's me in the corner.
me in the
Yeah, that's me in
corner.
the corner, yeah.
You're messing up the joke, eh?
It's a great...
See?
Let's have
He
Tyler
says it
come
better.
out. and
He
do
says
it
it
for you.
better.
Yeah, hopefully we get Tyler on
We'll
here.
definitely get Tyler when he headlines.
We're getting him next Monday.
Next Monday, yeah. Perfect.
My number 6 is Megadeth. Dave
Love
Mustaine. Dave Mustaine.
Megadeth.
Love him.
Huge That was one of my initial lists.
Oh God, I don't know if there's a single album I don't like. I mean, I
like the albums that other people didn't like. I liked Risk.
I like
like
all his stuff. Dave Mustaine.
Cryptic Writings. I love Cryptic Writings.
God, I can't say enough about Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
The best thing ever to happen to him was getting kicked out of Metallica.
Yeah, because they were fine and he was fine.
Exactly. They couldn't
morphed.
they couldn't exist together.
It was like Gizmo and the Gremlins. They just popped off another good band. So,
right.
Yeah.
No idea what you guys.
You don't know who
talking
Megadeth is?
Oh,
okay.
jeez. Yeah, do you like heavy music?
No.
Oh, if you don't like heavy music, you
Yeah,
don't like
you're not gonna like Megadeth then.
But you're a Punisher fan,
Big time.
so you love the song "Holy Wars and the Punishment Due."
I
Because the second half of that song
absolutely-
is about the Punisher. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sweating Bullets.
Yeah.
Sweating Bullets cracks me up because you ever see the video for that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because like
Insane.
it's like because he's a crazy man and
Yeah.
like it shows him in the mirror and then the guy in the mirror gets up and walks away. It's like what the hell's
yeah.
going
Rust
on?
in Peace is about as good as a heavy album can get.
Yeah.
But I like their their more mainstream stuff. I loved Wrist, like Breadline. I love that song.
Love Breadline.
Cryptic
but
Writing.
there's a shit ton of
almost
bands.
fa-
There's a bunch of bands that covered Breadline that did a really good job with
really?
it.
Yeah,
Oh
I didn't know
yeah.
that. Yeah, I love it.
We'll get to one of them here in a
Do
second.
you know
though.
why they named the album Risk?
I don't.
A couple of years before they made that album, Lars was asked about Megadeth, and he's like, "Yeah, I like Megadeth. I just wish they would take more risks."
Ah.
And then 2 years later, they put an album named Risk, and it has like a bunch of stuff like they don't ever do on there.
Honestly, what
Love it.
I know of Lars Ulrich, I'm glad they did that because he's a pompous asshole. Fantastic drummer.
Yeah.
Fantastic drummer. But God, he's a dick. He's almost torn apart Metallica more times than we can count. You're number 5.
My number 5 is Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. Actually, the first band I ever saw live.
Oh,
Really?
Nice.
Yep.
I know of Chicago. I haven't really dabbled in Chicago.
You can tell my tone of my music. It isn't as.
very
No,
good.
it's fine.
It's very
Not
good.
as upbeat as
Do
you
people
guys.
make comments on the thing? Because I'm sure
He's
he's
slugged
getting
in.
crushed for Coldplay. I'm guessing. Is that happened yet, or is that just coming?
No, because we have like one person watching.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody.
Nobody cares about
They,
the
they
show.
listen more to the podcast.
The
not
podcast. Yeah, the podcast is the main.
Podcast
focus.
is pulling in the big numbers, guys.
Well, you know,
so we know.
earlier you texted. You said, "Hey, hopefully this podcast thing blows up. I won't have to work anymore."
Right.
And I was actually taking a piss. I was laughing the whole time. I don't know what you
Which he
talking
normally
about.
does apparently, but
Well, the weird part
Yeah.
is everybody at the bar is like, "Why is he laughing in there?"
I was rolling. I was like, what does he think? This is actually popular?
Okay,
I just assume it is.
it's getting there. And so
Right.
with this,
Me
is,
and
this is
Josh
our,
have nothing to do, so we're frankly wasting your time.
This is-
Go ahead, Sean.
this is our 15th.
I ignored my
episode.
kids all weekend for this list.
Way to promote the show, Ish. That's
Yeah,
great.
you know, we have no fans.
You're number 5, sir.
Oh, Black Sabbath.
Oh, fantastic.
Love Black
Now
Sabbath. I love heavy
talking,
music.
We're talking
I love riffs.
Ozzy.
Ozzy only.
Ozzy only. Okay.
Ozzy only.
Okay.
I don't want Dio in there. And Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
Ozzy. 70s, late
Ozzy.
60s, Black Sabbath.
God, they were so good.
So good. Love it.
Wasn't he the guy
Absolutely.
who bit off the bat's head or something?
Yeah, I don't like
Yes.
all that. I'm actually not a big fan of Ozzy as a solo, but Black Sabbath is where it's at.
I love Ozzy too, but
Yeah,
you know,
Ozzy's alright, but he
Yeah.
became kind of like a gimmicky thing. But yeah, love Tony Iommi.
absolutely. Randy Rhoads back in the day.
Yeah, actually, I like D and all
Yeah.
that. The funny thing about Black Sabbath is here's a cool Black Sabbath story. Do you guys know the story about Paranoid? This is the song Paranoid.
Do tell.
They that's like their biggest album is Paranoid. They had 9 songs ready to go for the album. They were going to call it War Pigs because that was the big opening track on the album.
right.
The record company told them they had to have one more song. They wanted an even 10 to make the album. So Geezer Butler went and wrote Paranoid just real quick. It was like a quick slap together song.
Wow.
They wrote it. They didn't like it. And then the record company heard Paranoid and they're like, "That's the song. That's going to be the album title. That's the first single." And they were like, "No!" But they were like, pretty much they were at the
That's a great. I
but
love
they
that.
had to. They were at the the will of the record company because they were funding everything.
Man,
so they
I'm-
named the album Paranoid as the first single, and they literally like just whipped it out in one day.
I love that. That's a great story. My number 5, Van Halen. David Lee Roth, Van Halen.
Yeah?
Now, listen, I liked when Sammy was there. I thought they did some good
Yeah, I like some
stuff.
Sammy songs.
Sammy Hagar's a great guy. So, I mean, I like,
Yeah.
but I miss, like, the original Van Halen.
Crazy rock and
that
roll.
Like, you're talking, like, back with, Running with the Devil and all
Right,
that. It's just-
Eruption.
That whole album is just amazing. Even Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
Even that
Mm-hmm.
song is friggin' awesome.
I actually liked one of their songs with Gary Sharon.
Sharon, yeah.
They had a song
From what was the
"Fire in the Hole."
Yeah, but what was the band he came from with him and his
Extreme.
Extreme? Yeah,
The More Than Words.
Nuno was the guitarist for Extreme,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the other guy with
Nuno
long
something.
hair.
Yeah,
But
They were black nails.
but they had this. But it was a Van Halen with Gary had that song "Fire in the Hole." Remember that song?
Yeah.
It's a great song. I love
Yeah.
that song. But everything else
Well,
was
I
crap.
mean, when you got Alex and Eddie Van Halen, two
Right.
of the best instrumental players like in history.
Right.
I mean,
Are they still playing? Are they still
Oh,
touring?
they're still
And
touring.
isn't like Eddie's son in the band?
so right now, David Lee Roth is back with Van Halen,
Mm-hmm.
and freaking what's his face, Axl Rose is talking about being the lead guy for AC/DC now.
Yeah, I knew about the AC/DC
Yeah,
thing.
I guess Brian Johnson, would his voice finally go out on him?
Yeah, I actually got like a little insider story on that.
I would love to hear that.
What? Somebody in the biz.
Now is it going to be about AC/DC?
We'll talk about it later.
'Cause-
we'll talk.
'cause we gotta go
you know
further
what?
up the list.
Let's keep it moving. We'll come back to this story later.
Okay.
Just in case they come up.
Just in
My
case, they
chance.
There it goes.
just in case they're on multiple lists.
Yeah.
You're number 4, sir.
My number 4 is Journey.
Journey. All right. Hey.
I hate Journey.
Do you really?
Hate Journey.
All this
It's
music.
gonna come
you
right
hate
out.
Journey.
No, I hate Journey.
I tell you what.
I hate the
They're-
80s pop rock.
Well,
They're
Sean,
good.
I hate you. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
Their guitarist is unfucking believable. Steve Perry back in the day was
Steve Perry,
unbelievable.
Yeah, my kids hate that. They can't believe I hate Journey because my kids
How
like
can you
Journey.
hate Journey?
I love
I hate
Journey.
them. Oh my gosh! When I hear that doom doom doo doo doo.
All right.
Oh man.
So
I get so
blame
nauseous.
Randy Jackson then. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you hate Journey?
Okay.
I realize I'm in the minority, so like I'm not making fun of you.
You're lucky we have no one watching us, so
Right.
they would rip you right
Yeah, that's fine. Like I acknowledge I'm in the minority.
Who's your number 4?
Number 4. Now here's a band a lot of people do not like. I am a huge Pearl Jam fan.
Why don't you like Eddie Vedder? How can you not like
I
Eddie
love
Vedder?
Eddie Vedder.
doesn't
Love the band.
love Pearl Jam?
You know what's interesting is that actually so I was a kid of the '90s. Never liked Pearl Jam. I'd never, even though 10 sold 50 million records, I never bought 10. Never liked it. Never liked Versus. I became a fan of Pearl Jam when Yield came out in '98.
Gotcha.
Loved Yield, and I've loved everything since.
Gotcha.
And I kind of like their first few albums, but to me, Pearl Jam's last like 5 records are incredible, but nobody knows about them.
But I mean, like using Pearl Jam, that you can kind of sneak in Temple of the Dog.
Yeah.
And then you can almost get to Soundgarden if you do that.
If we're playing like the 7 Degrees, and then
That's what I'm saying,
I
'cause
love Audio Slave. So
yeah, I'm saying there's all those musicians kind of work together and just kind of rename their combinations.
Yeah, but for me, when a Pearl Jam record comes out today, it's like an event. I get so excited. I think their new albums are awesome, but I think nobody listens to them.
Eddie Vedder is an amazing performer.
Yeah,
hands down.
I saw him at Bonnaroo. They played like 3.5 hours because Kanye West was running late, and they killed. They just killed.
That's awesome. Okay, my number 4 is AC/DC.
Gotta love AC/DC.
Imagine that.
Do you have a preference on the Bon Scott Brian Johnson?
Bon Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bon Scott.
They're pretty similar.
And I think that was on purpose.
Right.
But the thing that a lot of people don't realize is like how young Angus Young is.
Yeah.
I mean, they all think he's like 70 years old.
'Cause
He looks like he's 70.
Yeah.
When they first started playing, he was a young teenager.
Yeah.
When AC/DC actually hit, I mean, he was like 14 or 15 years old. And
Really?
yeah, so like in the
know
90s,
that.
everybody's like, oh, he's like 70. It's like, no, he's like 40 something right now.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? You know, the band has just been amazing to me. Granted, a lot of the shit is like repetitive, but the reason why this group is on my list is because live, they are unbelievable.
Yeah. Their live album is one of my easy top 5 favorite live albums of all
For
time.
those about the rock,
I think it's just called Live. Or is it TNT?
no, it was the TNT. It's the one for those about the rock tour, wasn't it? The live one.
Yeah, it opens with Thunderstruck.
No, then it's not. Then you're right.
I think it's just
It's
AC/DC
TNT
Live. Yeah, I think it's just
You're
called
right.
Live.
You're right.
That is easy top 5 favorite live albums of all time. 'Cause I'm not a big live album guy.
They're
but that.
phenomenal musicians and just
Yeah.
live performers. Of the bands out there, they're one of the best live.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen them live.
I haven't seen them live
I really
either.
want to.
God,
I'm dying.
my rib, like I could still feel the way my ribs
Yeah.
felt when, like, especially like when they fire the cannons or whatever. I mean, everything just it's like. Ugh.
No, they're intense. So you said you had. So my number 3 is AC/DC.
Oh, okay.
So, but you said you had a story,
Yeah,
right?
so the
go
word
ahead.
on the street,
Okay.
I heard this from a big-time music insider. Big
Gotcha.
time. I was way over my head having a conversation with this guy. But the word on the street was that AC/DC, like, really treated Brian Johnson poorly.
Really?
And that, like, he just needed a little bit of time off. And they dumped all of his stuff on his front yard.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I don't
Well, I
think
don't think
that's.
that's
I don't.
gonna be
That's the point. I
mainstream.
don't
That's
think that's
crazy.
something you're gonna find on Google.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I have it on good authority of that story.
You're number 3.
Number 3. So this is for me where my list takes a huge gap. My top 3 favorite bands are so far and away my favorite bands over the rest.
Gotcha.
And I could jumble these 3 up.
Okay.
But number 3, as of today, is Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
Led Zeppelin.
okay.
Well, I mean, how could you?
I've read the books.
All right. So, what's your favorite album?
Oh, Physical Graffiti.
Physical Graffiti.
No doubt about Physical Graffiti. You know, here it's funny. Physical Graffiti has Kashmir. Not a big Kashmir fan.
See,
And people love Kashmir. I do not like Kashmir.
I'm a House of the Holies guy.
House of the Holy. Love that. Love Over the Hills Far Away. No
It's-
Quarter.
Yeah, it's hard to pick my favorite Led Zeppelin album because they're just
Yeah,
so
but
good.
yeah, Physical Graffiti, you get 2 discs.
Yeah.
And so I like that. And then they has In My Time of Dying, which is like an incredible
Gotcha.
10-minute.
My number 3 is ZZ Top.
ZZ Top.
It's like an anthem again from throughout my life. I saw the Texans play 3 years ago, and they were just still. I mean, they've been playing 30 years, and they're still friggin' badass. I
Yeah.
mean, Dusty and the boys, they're just awesome.
Billy
Givens.
Givens is a fan of my son's band, Johnny Conqueror. I
okay.
I have a picture of Billy Givens on my phone holding up the Johnny Conqueror album, and he put it on Instagram and put #ear candy.
That's awesome.
That's a true story.
That's
True story.
awesome.
Yeah,
You've
he's a fan.
dishonored your son. You have no son.
Number
I know,
2.
I know, right?
Number 2.
My number 2
We
is
got to get through this. Come on.
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, yeah, can't go wrong with Aerosmith.
Joe Perry and the boys.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with
You
Aerosmith.
can't really say anything negative about the boys from Boston.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 2, Metallica. Huge Metallica fan.
My
Love
boys.
Metallica.
Those are my
Yeah.
boys.
I've seen him live 9 times.
my
Huge Metallica fan. Crazy Metallica fan.
Yeah.
Probably my number 1, but I made him number 2 today.
Well, they're my number 1.
Oh, yeah.
because that is my
Yeah.
favorite band, hands down. I absolutely love them.
That's awesome.
I've watched them since '82.
Yeah.
and I've been a fan the whole entire time.
I love the Load and Reload albums. Love them.
What's funny, everybody thought they sold out. I was like, they're changing with the times.
Yeah.
Give you a break.
If they would have made like the last 2 albums are great, Death Magnetic and Hardwired, similar to the '80s album.
Sure.
If they'd have done that for 30 years, it would have been a little boring. They mixed it up in the
They
'90s.
mixed it up
I
a
love
little.
it.
Yeah.
I love the San Francisco Symphony live
Oh
album.
my God,
I love the Garage Inc. I love the Loads.
Garage Inc. Bread Fan. They do a cover of it.
Bread Fan, the Bungie song.
Yeah. Friggin'
Stone Cold Crazy by the Queen.
Did you ever see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where they hosted the whole night?
Yeah.
And they were out there playing with all the old musician stuff. God, that was fucking amazing.
The 30 year at the Fillmore.
Yeah.
I almost went to that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they had Dave Mustaine come out one
Yes.
night, and they played
Yeah.
all the old songs.
It was so
And
good.
they had Jason come back.
Yep.
And yeah, they played Carpe Diem Baby, and they played some like really crazy stuff.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome.
Huge Metallica fan.
My number 2 is Motorhead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ace of Spades.
Lemmy. If God and Lemmy got into a fight, who would win?
Oh.
It's a trick question. Lemmy is God. Ha! All right.
Yeah, you're definitely going to hell now.
You know that on the new Metallica album.
He's dead.
You know, on the new Metallica album, one of their songs is about Lemmy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Murder One. It's called Murder One. That was the name of Lemmy's amp.
Oh, awesome. I'll check that out. Your number 1, sir.
My number 1 is the Spice Girls.
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
I'm kidding.
I'll push you
I feel
off
like
the stage.
I feel like he's doing that to like pad the blow about what's getting ready to come here.
I will push
No,
you
Because
off
then
the
we're gonna be
stage.
like, well, it's not as weak as Spice Girls.
That's actually a good idea.
I think that's what you're doing.
No,
It's the Lumineers. No.
no, actually, my number 1 is U2.
You too.
You too.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I love
Can't
U2.
can't argue with you too.
Edge.
Number 1.
Bono.
Bono's.
I like some of their songs that are super popular. I like Electric Storm is a song I've always liked.
You know, what I don't like about you two is when they got political. It's like, dude, we like you because you're great musicians, not
Yeah.
because you're political views. So just shut up. I couldn't stand that.
I go back and forth about that because it's like I said it to my wife before, and she's like, "He's doing great
But
things."
he is
though.
doing great
It
things.
feels but it feels a little annoying, right?
It's terribly annoying.
But he's
Why
doing
do I
great
care
things.
about
If you're
your
going to do it and
Yeah.
you're going to use that power that you have for
Yeah.
great things, I can't.
Well,
knock
their
you
last
for it.
album was crap, and they shoved it down our throats and put it on our phones.
Oh yes, we got it for free.
But it wasn't good.
It wasn't. Good.
I didn't like Rattle and Hum. I thought that was like such a departure from what they were.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to Sunday Bloody Sunday and Joshua Tree. I mean, the music there was just like infectious and
Right.
good and solid. And then you get to
Yeah.
Rattle and Hum. It's like, now you're blues artists? I mean, what happened?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, granted, I would play with B.B. King in a heartbeat if he let me, but I mean, don't leave your style of music.
Yeah. I actually like one of their newer albums, the How to Drop an Atomic Bomb. Is that what it was?
I-
The one with
I
the
don't
red
know.
stripes on it? I really like that album. That has
What-
some really cool
what's your
songs
number
on it.
one?
Number one, the Beatles.
Well,
Huge
okay.
Beatles fan.
Okay.
My family
Yeah.
were crazy Beatles fan. We have a Beatles Trivial Pursuit.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say enough good things. You're talking about a band, a group that changed music history forever.
Right, in like a 7 or 8 year span
Yeah.
window.
I can't believe it. I didn't put Beatles on my list after you said that.
Number
I was like,
one.
fuck,
I'm
why
actually
did I say
not a
that?
super huge Beatles fan.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird.
But
Well,
you
here's
like-
the thing.
not.
You like
It's
the
not-
Spice Girls.
Have you
though.
delved
Yeah.
into their discography? Because most people that haven't delved in, when they think the Beatles, they think 8 days a week, hard days, night.
Yeah.
But the second half of their career is where it's at. The
Right.
White Album, the deep tracks, Helter
I just
Skelter.
remember listening to a song about them being a walrus, and it just threw me.
Oh well, if you don't, yeah,
because they were on acid.
That is
but-
one of their weirdest songs, but
Yeah.
that's one of the good ones that I'm referring to. So I guess never mind.
All right, guys, we got to get this wrapped up. I'd like to thank.
What was your number one?
It was Metallica. He said
Metallica.
I want to hear it again though.
It's Metallica. That's
All
my number one.
right.
But we want to thank Shawn Reynolds for taking time to come in today. Really
Why are you
appreciate
in
it,
such a
bud.
hurry all the time, Josh?
I'm not in a hurry.
I didn't get a
sir.
chance to tell everyone how much I love you.
I thought that was part of the podcast. I
That
was
is
waiting
part
for
of
that.
Well, no, apparently people think I hate him. So
Well,
I don't think so.
you're the one that perpetrates that.
I said, no, we're buddies. We hang
No,
out. I
you
love
guys,
him.
you guys kind of got like a Mike and Mike thing going. You know, you got to rip on each other.
Yeah, of
I've
course.
told him I would take a bullet for him. You know
Yeah.
that? In the leg.
I think.
I
when
mean,
people,
he said not in the head or anything. He
I
said
think
like
when
in
people
the
make
leg.
fun of each other, I think people know that that's like a good thing.
You would think so, but
Well, I
we
made
actually
fun of
have-
him once, and he started crying and pouting or
That'll do
whatever.
it.
And
That'll do
like,
it.
You would think people would realize that, but we got people on there just thinking we hate each other.
Yeah, they
It's
think we
like-
hate each other. I'm like,
it's
That
like,
might help the
Josh is my
numbers. That
buddy.
might help the numbers.
Maybe.
What are they gonna do next?
I think I see Josh more than any member of my family or friends.
it's
More.
true.
It's true. You know, this
Very
podcast
true.
takes a lot of work.
It really.
Making
have-
these
we
making
have-
these top 10 lists.
Well, we have like 4 fans to keep happy. Come on now. You know?
Stop it.
That's
We've got more than
just
that.
on the Facebook Live. The numbers are coming in on the podcast. You can't
Well,
see
and
those.
YouTube.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
we have
YouTube.
YouTube. I'm kidding.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to sign off for now. For Shawn Reynolds and Ish Shalosh, I'm Josh Sardam, and have a good night.
See you guys.